Well, hey everybody, it's Bradford, your carnivore curmudgeon, and in this video I'm going to show you the results of week 1 of the June Freezer Pantry Challenge. If you saw last week's video, you heard me say this. When I went to the freezer, I found that I had reached critical mass. I definitely had more meat and protein in the freezer than I had room in the freezer. And also in my pantry is kind of maxed out from canning of meat and other things. I'm going to only eat things that I found were already in my freezer or in my pantry on the 31st of May. So I won't be buying anything new to eat or myself for the month of June. And it started with Sunday lunch, a luxurious and elegant leftover meatloaf and hot dog with some mustard. But I did do quite a bit of meal prep for the week. My intent was to make some salmon patties, and I've got a video on making salmon patties with a great recipe, and I've done it before, and it's been a great success. I think I overcrowded my pan because in the end, it ended up being salmon patty salad, I guess. And I'm cooking this on the porch because I'm not really allowed to cook fish inside. So, happy wife, happy wife. Is that how that saying goes? I also boiled some eggs. I have another video on how I do eggs, and my boiling method is put them in when the water's already boiling, cook them for 12 minutes, take them out, put them under a cold running water, and peel them right away. I almost never have any gnarly eggs. Also, I had a couple of chicken leg quarters in the refrigerator. I thought that might make some fill-in meals for the week, quick and easy, in the air fryer. But that evening, the best part of the day, a couple of sirloin steaks on the grill. How can you go wrong? Steak, butter, and eggs for Sunday dinner. And later that evening, I even made some Dr. Kilt-style ice cream with some questionable heavy whipping cream, and it ended up being fine. Monday for lunch, that salmon patty salad with some leftover meatloaf at my desk. I don't usually eat a whole lot for lunch. I don't like to get bogged down, don't have a lot of time. But that evening, I did break out the grill and I cooked up some things. I did make some scrambled eggs. That's what my dinner consisted of. Scrambled eggs, a hot dog, a bacon whiskey sausage that I made, and some leftover pulled pork. And if you get that mushy pulled pork at the bottom of the bowl, the best friend you can have is the air fryer to crisp that stuff up. Came out great. It was a repeat on Tuesday, and I didn't remember to take a picture. I had the leftover salmon patty salad and a hard-boiled egg that day. Now, that evening, when I got home, I decided to make some burgers. And the way I make burgers when I'm going to grill them outside is I season them up in a bowl, and then I just take the meat. I used to put an egg in for a binder, but I just stopped doing that. I found this particular 80-20 ground beef from a local grocery store binds together pretty good. But the best success I have with grilling burgers is I patty them out the size that I want, knowing that they're going to be shrinking, so they're going to get small. And then I stick them in the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes before I actually take them out to the grill. And then I find when I do that they don't fall apart when I'm trying to put them on the grill, and they don't fall apart in the cooking process because it takes them a little bit longer to cook and the fat renders out a little bit slower. So that night, a hamburger, some of that pulled pork, another sausage, bacon whiskey sausage, and the ubiquitous eggs. Very tasty. Now, for Wednesday lunch, I had a leftover chicken thigh and some of that meatloaf that seemed to never end. And that evening was just a sirloin steak, some eggs, and a couple slices of cheddar cheese. Now, for Thursday lunch, I had leftover meatloaf, but I didn't remember to take a picture, so here you go. Warning: the following images may be disturbing to some people who have made their diet also their religion. It contains vegetables. That's right, folks. I had a zucchini and some onion in the refrigerator, and I decided to include it with this kielbasa sausage and some chicken that I baked. I just took it all, put it in a pot, threw in the juices that the chicken rendered out. Later, I put in some chicken stock that I had on the shelf and made kind of a gumbo like soup. And it was pretty delicious. But here's what made it extra delicious: the chicken skin that I took off of the chicken thighs that I had baked, I put in the air fryer and I crisped them up, put it on top, and it put this over the top. A little bit of Greek yogurt for some extra protein, and I made it kind of creamy. And yeah, it didn't disappoint. It was really good. Now, before I went to bed that night, I took a chuck roast that I bought marked down, and I put it in the crock pot, cooked it overnight. Nothing like waking up in the morning to the smell of a cooked chuck roast. Gosh, it makes the whole house smell good. And it was tender, and it just pulled apart beautifully. But lunch was first, and that was Friday. I had a leftover hamburger and the last hard boiled egg that I prepped on Sunday. That night I had to work late, so that night when I got home, I just wasn't in the mood to try something new. I got the leftover gumbo like soup out and went for round two. The only difference was I didn't have any shrimp to put in the bottom like I did the first night. Saturday, had to work. When I got home, I just warmed up that last chicken leg quarter, ate it, and took a giant nap. It was a good day. Saturday night, I put my let's experiment hat on and tried a new carnivore wrap idea. Well, it was new to me. I got it off of a website called Ashley Eats. I'm going to call mine a fail. Not that her recipe is, but it just was so hard to put together. And then I shredded up that beef, that chuck roast, took some of the drippings that was in a separate bowl and warmed it all up to get it nice and moist, and put it in one of my extra ugly shells. Actually, this was the best looking one of the three that I made. Just a tiny bit of crispy raw onion, and rolled it up the best I could, burrito like. And I got to say, the flavor wasn't disappointing at all. It was just the consistency of the wraps just didn't come out great. And that's what I had for dinner on Saturday. And that wraps up week one. Everything that I ate this week came from my freezer or my pantry. Now, I wonder what week two is going to bring. I hope you'll stick in there with me and let's find out together.